Okay, so, excuse me. Let me see here. See a thing doing that. Antonina stopped, so surprised that she didn't have time to be hurt. She thought of his mannish, raw-boned wife. Now her husband's name is Constantine. Constantine stopped as well, pulling a small knife from his pocket. He opened it and looked down at his fingernails. You are not yet very interesting, Tazia. That's what he calls Antonina. I guess her father did too. Antonina stiffened at the insult. Although I know that you are highly accomplished at the piano, he paused, you are still inexperienced and empty. And then he cleans his fingernails as he's saying it. One can only hope you'll become less ordinary as you mature. Oh, wouldn't you like to hear this from the man that you just married yesterday? Antonina stared at him, heat spreading through her, slowly at first, like fire under moss, but then it caught, flaring up with a kind of relief, and she moved from beside him to in front of him. How can you say this to me? Constantina gave her no more than an unconcerned glance, then held his hand in front of him, surveying his fingernails. You believe I'm empty? Empty? The word hit a sharp note. A couple strolling by looked at them, then hurried on. Empty as in a fool, as in stupid? Then why did you reward my father so handsomely for me? When he didn't answer, she said, I am sorry you feel that way, husband, that I am somehow to blame for what was clearly difficult for both of us in bed. Then he put his knife away and he said, that's enough. Decent people don't discuss such private details. She wasn't finished. You were the one who brought it up. I can no more change my physical self than that statue. But you and I both know that you were very wrong about my intelligence. There's no need to be mean-spirited simply because you're disappointed. Softer than that, she carried on. As for how I feel while you lay on me last night, you might consider... And then he stopped her again. I have just requested that you don't speak like a common woman, and yet you refute me. And then he tells her she's a countess, she must have proper manners, and get rid of her childish ways. You're no longer a child, you are a woman and a wife, and a countess. Then he says, we are both weary, blah, 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 blah. And then he tells her that he has decided to rename his estate after her. And that's why he calls her my angel. So he's going to call it Angelkoff. After he says these things to her, that she's not really what he wanted. She doesn't measure up to his ex-wife, who was sickly and died because she was had health problems and was always sickly. So she has quite the marriage in front of her. I read that part and I went, ugh.